Nothing snaps your life into focus like watching a 2-pound baby fight to breathe. This wasn't a career crisis. This was a life or death reset.
He was born premature. My wife ended up with HELLP syndrome, and her life was at risk, as was his. So they did an emergency cesarean at 7 months. So he comes out as 2 pounds, 3 ounces. You know, you can see through the skin. It's just really scary to imagine a little life like that and how they're going to survive. But, you know, he was fighting for his life the whole time from the beginning. He had a PDA, heart surgery, had to do all those things. But I just remember, like, you couldn't interact with them, right? They're in a NICU. Right. They're in plastic. This is our first kid. So we're young new parents. And we're just praying to God that he's going to be fine. And we're just watching and hoping that we, will be able to make it to the other side. And all I could think to do besides that was read. And so I just read books to him through the NICU container. I just read.
When childish cares go away, you realize time isn't guaranteed. Creatives love to pretend that we have forever, but we don't.
If you wait too long and get a plethora of time, then you don't have the age and exuberance and energy to go do the things that you've been deprioritizing. So if you can, financial independence is a way to get that time back earlier so that you still have your passion and the health in place. So you can avoid I started my book with the big 5 retirement regrets. They're very well studied. And they're actually really fascinating. And they almost always come down to time mismanagement. I wish I had done better with this or that back then. There's a lot of looking back regret. Of course, I mean, you're talking to people at the end of their lives usually, or in their retirement golden age. And so people are usually frustrated by that. And so they wish they had done something different. They hadn't worked quite as much. They had, made that move. They had, figured out how much was enough and then stopped. Things like that. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to take all these amazing things I was learning. I wanted to package it into a comprehensive book, because there's 1,000 great books you could read, but I can't get my kid to go read 7 finance books.
No.
There's no way. There's just no way. But if I can give him one book that has all those best tidbits in it and then teaches him how to put it together in a personal way, because your financial independence is personal to you.
You can recover money. You cannot recover time. Art isn't what burns creatives out. It's everything else around it. You mentioned that you had gone through 7 or so different financial advisors preparing for everything. How did you filter through all that? Because from what I've known plenty of financial advisors myself, and when I talk to them, most of them are on the consumer end of things. They are pushing products. They are getting a commission for selling you something. They don't always have your personal interest in mind. They say they do, and in their minds they actually do, but the tools they're given to help you aren't always the tools that you need. How did you filter through all of that? If you ignore your finances long enough, life will make the decision for you. The question isn't whether the wake-up call is coming, it's whether you listen.
The relationships we have really matter. And look, getting your time back is a lot about all these different currencies in our life. Time is this amazing currency that we can, kind of cash in to improve relationships and improve our own identity and all kinds of things. And the relationship we have with an advisor is actually, it can be quite intimate at times, because we're talking about money, and money can be emotional. And a good advisor will almost feel like a friend, and it can become this really powerful part of your toolkit. But a bad advisor, and I say that word loosely because honestly, I don't think there's a lot of bad advisors. There's just advisors that are, they're just more misaligned with individuals. You have to have a rapport with the person. And I noticed when I would meet with some of them, they would be very pitch heavy, kind of like you were saying, oh, we're gonna get you, I guaranteed 15% return every year, and I have the best tool. No one has this tool. The tool I have is undefeatable, and da-da-da-da-da-da. It was a lot of talk. And as I'm like, this all sounds really good. Is it really this good? Like, why isn't everyone just running at this? And I started looking at it, and the more I was looking at it, I learned there is no guaranteed rates of return. They're just not. Like, nobody can promise you, and except unless it's a credit card or a loan, no one's going to promise you any type of rate. So even if you were to get a savings account or a high yield savings account, that rate will even fluctuate with interest rates and inflation. So everything's always changing all the time, and predicting the future, believe it or not, is really, really difficult, if not impossible. So I would start to kind of probe at some of these individuals when they would make these assertions. I'm like, okay, show me that tool. Show me, why is that tool so much better than what I have? Here's what I have. I'd actually show my spreadsheet, which I actually give out for free now. I realized a lot of what these financial advisors had is knowledge and a really great spreadsheet or access to some app. And I realized, hey, my spreadsheet ended up becoming this amazing thing. So I templatized it and I give it away for free on my website. Over 1,000 people have downloaded since I started doing this. Please, if anything, go grab that. It's completely free. It will help you get at least going on your planning bit. But anyways, I have one of these guys actually showed me his super thing, and it was an Excel spreadsheet. I was like, okay, you probably have some great calculations in there. That's cool. And then I would start probing on, like, okay, well, you're really investment heavy. We can talk about investments all day long, but what about taxes? Oh, no, I don't do that. I'm not a CPA. You'll have to find a tax person. Well, how can you promise me a return if you can't understand the liabilities and the tax implication?
At the end of the day, every regret comes back to time, how we spent it, how we gave it, and what we never made any space for. Creatives don't fear failure. We fear running out of time before we make the thing that we know we're capable of. Financial independence isn't about money. It's about reclaiming the hours you've been giving away. The goal isn't to retire early. The goal is to stop living in reactionary mode. Your art needs time. Your life needs time. And time is the one thing you can't borrow. The wake-up call is coming. The smart move is to answer it before it rings. And if you want to support the program, please like, subscribe, and hey, check out some of my books. They're over there at lightmindedarts.com. Catch you next time.